Okay, so we've got a live one brewing out there in the Atlantic right now, and we are here to help you stay ahead of the storm.
Literally. Well,
Yes, literally stay ahead of the storm. Today, it is all about Hurricane Helene, and we are bringing you a deep dive into all the latest on this storm.
it's amazing. We have so much information available to us these days, right?
Ahoy.
But it's easy to get lost in the noise.
Yeah,
So that's what we're doing here. We're going to cut through all that and give you the need-to-know info so you can actually use it.
exactly. So this is your one-stop shop for Helene. What do we need to know? Let's start with the big picture. We've got this satellite view of Helene right now, and she is looking pretty intense. I mean, look at those swirling bands.
And this is still just the beginning. The reports are already mentioning a slight drop in central pressure, and that has our attention.
Really, I always thought low pressure meant like a weaker storm or something.
It's actually the opposite. Think of Helene like a giant vacuum cleaner. The lower the pressure, the more power she has to suck in all that air around her.
Oh, wow, okay.
And more power. That means faster winds, higher risk of damage when she makes landfall.
Gotcha. So not great, especially with Florida kind of in the possible path here. But here's where I'm a little confused. The hurricane hunters are saying Helene might not have like a really well-defined inner core at the moment.
Right.
Does that change anything?
Yeah, it adds a whole other level of, well, complexity, I guess you could say. So
Yeah.
usually a well-defined inner core that means a more predictable hurricane. You kind of know which way it's going to go.
Right.
Helene, not so much. Without that clear center, it's harder to predict her next move,
So she's got a mind of her own.
pretty much. And that's why it's so important to stay updated on this one. Even a small change in track can make a huge difference.
Okay, good point.
Yeah.
Which is why this next source I think is so fascinating. Forget your static maps and forecasts. We've got live updates coming in from Stormy Eyes on TikTok.
Wow. Next level.
Yeah. So for those who haven't seen Stormy Eyes yet, this incredible storm chaser out there, braving the elements, giving us a firsthand look at Helene.
Yeah, I've seen them. They're incredible.
Oh, yeah. And they're not just pointing a camera at the sky. They're using live NEXRAD radar and 3D modeling to track Helene's every move.
That's what makes it so valuable, though, right? I mean, NextRad radar, that gives you incredible precision,
Mm.
real-time tracking. So Stormy can tell you if Helene veers closer to your town or shifts course even.
Wow. It's like having a direct line to the storm, except because it's coming through our phones. And then there's the 3D modeling, which
Yeah.
I gotta admit looks pretty impressive.
Yeah, and it's not just about the wow factor, though. I mean, the 3D modeling actually helps you visualize the storm surge. Like literally see how high and how far inland that water could reach.
Okay, so you're not just imagining it, you're seeing it.
Exactly.
That's got to be a really powerful tool when you're trying to make those really critical evacuation decisions.
It takes out the guesswork, and it gives you what you need to make those informed choices for yourself and your family.
And it's not even just about like the visuals, Stormy's actually out there answering questions live from people who are watching.
Oh, wow.
Like it's like having a hurricane expert right there in your pocket.
Yeah, that's what's so cool about this kind of communication. It makes it, real. It makes you pay attention.
Totally. Okay, so speaking of paying attention, let's get into like the what does this all mean part of Helene. We've got the official hurricane report here, and they're not messing around.
No, they're not. I mean, when they start using terms like catastrophic and life-threatening,
Oh,
it's serious.
yeah, for sure. So they break it down into like these four main messages. I think we should go through each one just so we're super clear in what we're talking about here.
Yeah, good idea.
Okay, so message number one, storm surge. And we are talking a potential 20-foot surge along parts of that Florida Big Bend coast. That's not even just a lot of water, that is like a wall of water.
Yeah, 20 feet. I mean, that's more than most houses.
Yeah.
It's incredible the power of that much water just
Mm.
rushing in. And that's why they're being so serious about these evacuation zones. If you are in a vulnerable area, don't wait around, have a plan, and be ready to go.
Yeah, don't try to figure it out the last minute. Okay, key message number two, hurricane force winds.
And not just on the coast either.
Right. This is going inland too. We could be talking about the same intensity winds miles from the ocean.
So what does that mean for people? What should they be doing to prepare?
Well, I mean, first of all, just assume you're going to lose power. So batteries, flashlights, all that good stuff. Non-perishable food and water for a few days at least.
Okay, smart. What about like all your outdoor stuff? Patio furniture, grills, all that?
Anything that could turn into a projectile, basically. Secure it or bring it inside. We're talking potential missiles flying around.
Yikes. Good to know.
Oh,
All right, message 3 is flooding. And this one's kind of tricky, right? Because you might think, oh, I'm not right on the coast. I'm fine. But that's not always how it works. Nope. We could get flash flooding, urban flooding, all sorts of issues, even inland.
Yeah.
Rivers and streams, overflowing drainage systems getting overwhelmed. It can happen fast.
So what's the best way to stay safe?
Know your flood zone. That's number
Yeah.
one. And if you are in a low-lying area, just have a plan. Know where you're going to go to get to higher ground if you need to. Don't wait till the water's already coming in.
Exactly. Good advice. Okay, a last key message from this report is, yes, we are focused on Florida here, but Helene's impact is going to be felt over a much wider area. They're specifically mentioning tropical storm conditions hitting western Cuba.
Right, and this is important. They actually say, well, away from the center will be affected. So even if you think you're outside the main danger zone, doesn't mean you are.
It's like those ripples you get in a pond. You drop something in, even if you're far away, you still get those waves.
Exactly. And then you add in the speed factor. Helene is moving fast, so that means less time to react for everybody.
Which brings us right back to Stormy Eyes, because if you've got their live feed with those up-to-the-minute updates, it could make all the difference.
Totally. Real-time information, you can make real-time decisions. And that can be what keeps you safe.
It's kind of wild when you think about it. We can track a hurricane now with this much detail. It's like a video game almost.
Yeah, but with, real-life consequences.
Right, exactly. High stakes.
It really shows you how powerful technology can be, though, especially in these situations where every second counts.
Totally. But it's not enough to just have the information right.
Nope. Got to know what to do with it.
Exactly. And that's what we always try to do here on the Deep Dive, right? Give you the tools you need to feel prepared, not panicked.
Exactly. Knowledge is power.
Okay, so as we wrap up our deep dive on Helene, is there like one big takeaway you would want to leave our listeners with?
I think the biggest thing is just to remember that being prepared, it's not a one-time thing. It's not enough to just listen to this and be like, okay, I'm good. You got to actually do something.
Take action.
Yes. Check your evacuation zone. Make that emergency kit. Put away all that stuff in your yard. Don't wait till the last minute. And of course, keep up with Stormy Eyes and those live updates.
It's like having a personal guide right through the middle of a hurricane. I gotta admit, I'm a little jealous of Stormy out there in the thick of it.
From the safety of our studio, though, right?
Of course. But it really is amazing to see how technology is changing how we deal with these things. Makes you wonder what hurricane prep will even look like in like 10, 20 years.
I know, right? Will we all have these personalized storm models on our phones? Will we be able to see the storm surge coming before it even hits? Crazy.
It's going to be wild. But okay, for now, let's focus on Helene. She is on the move, folks. So to everyone listening, stay safe out there. And we'll be back soon with another deep dive.